All right, hello there everyone. This is Kevin Luna. This video is all about creating tables in your community. If you're serious about business and you're ready to get started, this is a perfect video for you. Watch this video and then comment down below what you love about this video. Reach out to the person that shared this video and tell them I'm ready to do tables with you, because this is gonna fire you up and give you the game plan to get started today in your community, with your team, with anyone. Ask a friend, bring anyone with you, and you can start building your business now today. Let's go.
You're going to hear today exactly what to do from the experts who have been setting up tables for the last several months and have been very successfully doing it. So without any further ado, welcome Crown Raw of Earth and two-star Crown Carolina Teasdale. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Check, check.
Hello? Check.
Yeah, thank you guys, thank you.
Hello?
Raise your hand if you've ever hosted a table before.
One table.
And what about, keep your hands up, who's hosted 5 tables? 10? Anyone here has hosted over 20 tables? You got Michael Mays over there? Yeah, awesome.
Ian Farrar.
This is consistency.
Rachel. Ooh.
Amazing. We just want to know what we're working with. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Again, my name is Carolina Teasdale, and I've been in the company for about 6 years. And I got my whole business launched with tables. Tables transform my business, and every single time I want to grow and get to the next level, I default to hosting a table. So a little bit about me. I am an architect. I practiced professionally for about 9 years. I worked with multi-use residential buildings, skyscrapers, anything over 250,000 square foot. However, I found myself in multiple meetings with engineers, land use attorneys, all kinds of people to put together these buildings, and we're talking about facades for buildings that are $20, $30 million, and all these kind of type 1, type 2, type 3, like all these different kinds of structures. But we were sitting at a table, drinking Coca-Cola, pizza, sandwiches. Every lunch and learn was full of junk food. And I just told myself, we're putting the worst building block materials into our body, but yet we're talking about all these super mega expensive structures for our buildings, but our body is the only place that we have to live the rest of our life. So that's when I said, I have to do something different. And I didn't know what, but I felt the need and the urge to do something different. I was going to work with all my Tupperwares full of my healthy food. I was filling the refrigerator at my office, and everyone was always laughing for being the healthy person. And I believe in the law of manifestation, and when I decided to start doing something to help all my colleagues transform their bodies, I started hosting tables at corporate America. So I went to Gensler, all these architect companies that are huge around the world, and I said, I want to start hosting lunch and learns. Superfoods give us super results, and that was my theme. Superfoods to super results. I called human resources of all these companies, and I said, I want to do a lunch and learn. I'm going to bring superfoods so your staff, every single architect, and this whole office can give us super results. And that was my first table. And it was a lunch and learn, and I brought Power Shake as a lunch because I said, this has more nutrition than any lunch that they could ever eat in a day. So it was kind of funny, but.
My name's Ra. I come from the gym world. I used to own gyms for 10 years, and Purium's given me so much more freedom, so much more opportunity. And so I love this company. For me, when we started, I would watch Caro set up tables, and I hated it. I'm an introvert, I'm shy, I feel like I'm not the greatest at words, so I have to really work hard at talking to people. And what we're going to share with you guys is essentially the presentation that I wish that I had in the beginning. Because for me, I just didn't know like all of this stuff. It's taken us a long time to figure all this out, and like why and what to say to people. And so I really hope you guys enjoy this.
Yeah. Okay, so why host a table? So hosting a table, as an architect, I didn't have many friends. I was always behind my desk, my computer with my headphones, barely talking to people, was mostly email and phone. So most of my friends left back to their countries in architectural school. My colleagues weren't really into health at the time. So I said, I need to go find people. And I didn't lead with social media at the beginning. My account wasn't private. I didn't have many followers. So I just said, I need to put a table somewhere. So a table allows us to create new connections all the time. Every single time I work a table, a lot of my team leaders also work tables, and they always meet a new friend. Also, it allows us to bring awareness to our products. Product exposure is huge because more and more people need to know about this solution to most of their problems.
If you guys have ever been hosting a table, there's this concept that people feel like they don't like the taste of greens. But you guys know how good our Power Shake tastes. So actually getting Power Shake in people's mouths is one of the benefit of the table because you're belly to belly. And then also, speaking of belly belly, that's an aspect of this business that we're eventually going to need to do. And so yes, we both are very active on social media, but we still are regularly doing this. So this is a consistent part of our business and our team's business.
Yeah, and community is one of our 4 pillars. It allows us to connect to people and build local communities. So everywhere we go, we host a table and we create a little community. So it's great. It also allows us to have immediate sales, and we're going to talk about that later. But a lot of people want to buy right on the spot, and a lot of networking opportunities.
Right, so when you meet somebody in person, there's trust built, and then there's that connection. And we're in the business of networking, right? This is a relationship business. This is a communication business. So meeting people face to face, that's what we're all doing in this room, right? So hosting a table is the aspect of our business where we get to do that with a new network. This is the income producing activity that is not on the phone, sending DMs, sending texts. This is like the real life networking activity.
Yeah, and it's a blessing to be able to give a little shot of wheatgrass with spirulina, with all this incredible nutrition to everyone that walks by our table. And most important, hosting a table, for me, it was huge because it allowed me to refine my skill sets. I didn't know how to present. I didn't know how to talk about the products. I didn't know how to sell in person. I never sold anything in person. So it was really good for me to get into the flow of like, what should I say? What should I not say? How should I call people into the table? What should I do? So we get to learn so much by hosting a table.
And just on that, it's like a speed round sometimes, depending on if you're at an event or even people coming to your house, wherever the table is at, you are learning to get rid of the fluff, get rid of the uhs and the ums, and be able to, in 1 minute, explain the ULT lifestyle in a way that they understand it.
Yeah. And it's really important that when you do set up a table, you have a strong intention. Have the right mindset. And we're going to talk about that. Every time we host a table, we have an intention. We don't just go and set up and then we hope that something or someone will buy. We have a number in mind, and it allows us to achieve that.
And so a lot of people are thinking, I'm going to go set up a table and I'm going to make sales. And we just listed a whole bunch of things that are benefits besides that, and recognize that you guys hosting tables, consistency over a long period of time, if it fits into your life, if it fits into your business structure, that's up for everybody to determine. But for those of you who are interested in moving in the direction of hosting a table, there's many different goals or targets that you can achieve. You can achieve gathering 100 names and emails and phone numbers. You can achieve talking to a certain amount of people. You can achieve making a connection with 5 potential brand partners. And so we're going to talk about all that on how to do that too.
So how to set up a Purium table. And that's our main topic. One of the biggest things when we're setting up a Purium table is to be early. You have to be early wherever you go, because you're going to need time to set up, and you're also going to need time to network with other vendors, serving samples to all the other vendors, giving them gift cards to all the other vendors. The vendors are already hosting tables, so they already have that experience. And you want to talk about table?
Yeah, so just like groundwork, when you guys set up a table, this is like getting into the how to, you have to be early. Like 100% have to be almost as early as possible. If you roll in there 30 minutes before the event starts, you're going to be scattered. You're going to realize you forgot your tablecloth, like we did. We normally have a green one. You're going to realize like you might spill something on your clothes like I did 10 minutes ago and I had to go clean it up. Like you have to be early. And a main reason why you need to be early is so that all of the other professional vendors who are there, who know how to talk to people, who have large networks of other people who know how to talk to people, all the other vendors are there. Those are the main people to connect with as well. Those are your professionals. Those are the people that already have the skill sets to do the things that we do in Purium. So being early allows that. Also, another benefit of being early is where is this thing placed? We're all skilled at marketing, sales, communication, talking to the event organizer, even if they put you in the back corner, going up, talking to them. If you're early and nobody else is there, the amount of times that they took somebody's name off the table that's right in the main pathway and said, you can go here, I'll place this person over here. It's almost like every single time, if you're the first person, that will happen.
Yeah.
Okay, and so getting there early.
It's a drastic difference, like drastic.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You're setting up an event and you're sitting there and it's crickets and it's alone. You appreciate the people that show up early. So be that person. You want to go on the inventory?
Yeah, so another thing that is great about hosting a table is that we can use transformation now. You can have your 3 boxes under the table. And we have different tricks that I use to sell the boxes. Like, oh, we only have 3 left. I can save one for you. You can pick it up at the end of the event. Or I can say, Raw, do we have another one on the car?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, let me check.
I think that lady's
like,
coming back for it.
Did she pay for this already?
She hasn't paid for it yet.
You
but
can
I think
take it.
She said she was coming back.
So. Is that playing around that creates that fear of missing out? Like, oh, everybody bought one? Like, yes, please save it for me. And I'm like, okay, Raw, can you walk her to the car and carry her box for her? Like, all these little details add on to somebody taking the box.
Also, get permission. So I all the time, if I see somebody on social media who's a yoga teacher who's hosting an event, I message like, hey, is it all right if I come serve samples of superfoods? And we need to make sure that if we're setting up tables that we have permission. There is some leeway there, like if you're going to a public place, you can you can be bold in that way. But if you're going to an event that's somebody else's audience, make sure that they know that you're going to have product that you're serving samples, and they're going to have different variants of acceptability on that, or they might need to get permission from the hotel, or maybe even a permit in some cases. So you need to be upfront with the people that are organizing the event. I'm serving samples. I'm not going to be selling physical products. That's like, if you have inventory, you can tell them that. But the main thing is that you're giving out samples. You're serving their audience. You're giving them something nutritious to drink.
Yeah, and don't be shy to the places that you go. Like, Sharon Winters, she put a table at an organic juice bar. And Rob was like, an organic juice bar is allowing you to put a table of powdered juice? And we saw the boxes and we made connections. So don't be shy of the places. A couple of days ago, I was riding my bike with Alexis. And we were riding by the beach. And there was a bunch of tables of people just selling little things. And we're like, oh, we should put a table here. In a couple ways, you can go on the website and figure it out if there's a permit that you need, or you can also talk to the other vendors and say, hey, where did you get your permit to put your table? And they're like, oh, no, I didn't get one. And I'm like, oh, you never get checked? No, I don't. I'm like, you think it's okay I put a table right next to you with superfoods? And they're like, yeah, no one cares here in Ventura. Right, so you can talk to other people.
That's another benefit of connecting with the vendors too, is they know what's happening in the next few months.
Same mistake. Okay, awesome. So here on the upper left corner, this was my first table. If you see Runyon Canyon closed, well, it was open, but it's closed during those hours. I said, I need to have a table somewhere where there's a lot of transit. I need a lot of people walking by every moment. Runyon Canyon is a very popular hike in West Hollywood, and I said, okay, when does it get really hot? I looked at the time, I looked at the weather, and I said, well, it's gonna get really hot around 11 noon. So I'm gonna go and put a table around 10, 9. So people that go up in the hike, and when they come down, they are so thirsty, they're gonna beg you for a cold power shake. I guarantee you, I've done it many times. They're gonna beg you to get a sample of the power shake. So that was the tip, and if you look at the second photo on the upper left corner, it's a table with no tablecloth. There's no ULT pack. There's only a couple worksheets that the Maces gave me because I say, Michael, Lucy, I'm gonna host a table, like, what do you need? What do I need? And they're like, take these worksheets, they have your code on it. So Michael did this little flyer that said, here's your code, and get $50 discount. So I said, okay, I'm gonna invite a couple of my team members so they help me gather people as they're walking down the hike, because there's so many people coming down the hike. So I called my team and I say, hey guys, I'm gonna hold a table. Who wants to come? If you talk to somebody, you can close them. They go underneath you. You guys can take all the leads. I'm gonna be there. I have a table, I have ice, I have water. You don't need to bring anything. If you do have a gift card, let me know. I can ask Michael Maces to print some for you. And I called them, and they came over, and Rob came from Boston. I mean, so many people came, and they're just giving samples. And we don't say power shake, we just say, hey, would you like to try some green juice?
Also, that table in the upper left, the second one over, you bought that used,
Yeah.
right? We still use that.
It's the same exact table we're still using
Like, we
today.
have a brand new 8-foot table. It's just heavier. Like, you guys don't need to spend a lot of money on a table. Find a used one. And like, some of these older, cheaper tables are actually beneficial because they're light.
Yeah, and if you look at the big plastic container, that's what we used to have before. We used to make samples in the plastic blender bottles. And then you guys see on the left bottom corner, JJ is talking to people that are walking down the hike. It's just so much fun, and you don't need much to host a table. And we're gonna talk about Europe and the experience that we have in a second. In the bottom, it's Raw working a table at Equinox. Then I was living in a tiny little apartment, so I didn't have space in my house to host an event, so I did it at the park. If you look on the bottom right, it's me sitting in a circle. There's a table with tablecloth. I don't know where that came from, but I had a plastic 5-gallon water, just a jug of power shake, and some paper cups.
And another thing Carol's really good at is pulling people in. So at the park, she's going out, and anyone that's walking by, she's saying, come over and have some superfoods. And we were just at Ava's gym with Autumn, and it was like on like a main strip in like a downtown area of Ventura, and Carol's like, we need to go out under the street and get people in here. And
yeah, because I think we had like 3 guests, and I was like, no, we need to fill this room. So I immediately went out. Eva made a tray, and I'm like, we need to pass this and pull people in, and we filled the room. Total strangers, just walking in the street.
And they purchased too.
And they purchased.
A whole family got ULT Lifestyle.
So you don't need much. You can just find a local park and just sit in the shade and just invite a couple girls and say, hey girls, you want to join our circle? We're going to talk about gut health. You get some superfoods you can try. Join us, sit down. And like, you're literally like pull them and you sit them. And they stay, like they want you to do that.
Mm-hmm. You guys know, they're all going to be like this at first. Like there's a little bit of persistency that pays off.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then in the bottom right corner, I don't know if it's right? Yeah. It's a table that we did at a concert with 10,000 people. Actually, Kenny Loggins bought the power shake and he's ordering. He's the famous singer. He was on stage.
He's on Imperium.
Yeah. We got him on Imperium. Yeah. And if you see, the table is so busy. There's so much on it, so much text that is overwhelming.
We learned a lot there.
I was like, geez.
We filled up our entire the mini SUV like to the ceiling. It was way too much stuff.
Yeah,
way
and all the text, all of that is distracting. So if people are walking by and they see all this text, all these things, they immediately shut it down, okay? Because a lot of people are not willing to feel better. So that's not to do on the bottom right, have so many things.
Oh, That all now is condensed into the
Yes.
transformation book. So that is
Yeah.
replaced with this.
Yeah, so bottom right, all that information was like, no, we need to consolidate it
Like,
in one
look.
little thing, so there's more space in our car, and it just makes it
There's
much
even
easier.
the glyphosate contamination. You see that like carcinogen thing. Like it's all in here now.
That's, yeah. It's just so much easier, and you can carry everything with you in your purse everywhere. It's like your office in a binder. Okay, so here you see the people in the bottom left. That was the concert. We had 10,000 people. And Raw and I were standing behind the desk. And people weren't coming. People were drinking beer. And like alcohol. It was a big rock concert. So I'm like, oh my God, we have all these products. No one's-
Problem solved. Problem solved.
Yeah,
Problem
like
solved.
what can we do? What can we do? So I'm like, I need to be in front of the table. And I need to go grab people over. And I kept on asking them, how's your digestion? Are you bloated? And this lady, like literally, it was just like that.
Yes. I don't do greens though.
Yeah, a lady was constipated for 7 days, and she was drinking a beer, and she's like, well, I'm actually very constipated. And I'm like, well, you gotta hear this. Come over the table. So if you see, I'm like right there with the green suit, and I'm pulling people into the table. And then I just said, you know what? We need to bring this to more people. So I grab a tray that we brought. We usually have a tray, and I put all the sample cups, and I went to the food court. And I walked to the food court, and I said, would you like an energy drink? Would you like an energy drink? I didn't even say Beats because they were drinking beer, so Beats doesn't sound very good. And I just, this is an energy drink. Yeah, it's an all-natural organic energy drink. So everybody's like, yeah. And then they're like, this is so yummy. And I'm like, yeah, that's red beets. And they're like, red beets? So there's ways to meet people where they are. Then, if you guys see that middle photo with the rib cage, that's Dr. Bass' office. And you see that box in the middle of the rib cage, right there at the solar plexus. And you see on the left, there's an x-ray room. But that was my office for a solid month, those 2 chairs in the x-ray room. And when the x-ray room was busy, Marisa will put me on the chair.
Dr.
And then
Marissa.
she will bring me back to the x-ray room after. And we did that. That's how she hit Faster Green Diamond in under 30 days. She hit executive in 2 days. She hit diamond in like her first week. We got so many of her patients on the program, and we had a little technique. And then if you guys see that table is so small, and I was like, oh my God, I need a bigger table. Like I can't do my display. I just have the box. So then we moved, if you see in the middle bottom, it says Can't Beat This Power Shake. And then I got a little table, and the rib cage is on the far back. So then I got upgraded to a bigger table. And it's the same layout absolutely everywhere. Stretch Lab. Marisa's like, let's do a table at Stretch Lab. And we went to Stretch Lab LA, and we talked to all the therapists that do stretching. We had everybody was getting a stretch, was having a power shake or a drink after their stretch. Bottom right is Core Power Yoga at Beverly Hills. We actually did a whole series of events at all the Core Power Yogas in LA. And we didn't have a table. I just said I need a counter space to lay out. And if you guys see, the layout is almost the same. However, we did learn that we were sampling too many things, because then people are like, oh, I like the cocoa. Oh, I like the aloe. I just want the aloe. And I'm like, no, they need to want the power shake. So then they can get the ULT. So if we're going to show you how we've learned to finally come up with like this masterpiece. And then on the upper left corner, this was an event we did with Sharon Winters, and this was the whole tennis club. All the ladies in the tennis club came, and it was a huge table full of all these ladies, same exact layout for a house or for an event table anywhere. Upper left corner, Raw flew to,
Kansas.
Kansas, and they hosted a table in Orange Theory. On the one on the floor, Raw sitting on the cushion, that's our yoga studio in our house. Then with Core Power Yoga, we did it at their clothing line. We had a table there.
The upper right was a it was a 2-year anniversary to, it was Westlake Yoga Company, so it's a pretty big yoga facility. You know, like these places have hundreds of members and they have these events. So if you guys are members at these facilities and they're doing an outing somewhere, it's super easy to show up and serve samples. Both of us have never, ever in the history of our career paid for any of these tables. So if you're thinking about like, well, I don't want to pay for it, we've never paid. We're networkers. We're in the business of getting people what they need, having good conversations with people. They're going to ask you or be okay with you being there. And if they're not, work on your communication skills. Or you get to be friendly with their best friend or their wife or their girlfriend. Like there's ways in there. That's essentially what we get paid to do, is get into the marketplaces. Or $200 or $300 is no big deal to you, do that. You may or may not be able to immediately see the profit there, but it'll pay off.
Yeah, I've never also paid for a table ever. Everything has been for free. If you guys look at the bottom left, that is another vendor across the room from where we were at a yoga studio in Thousand Oaks. And I went to her, I went to just network with all the other vendors, and she has an art school, and she's like, oh, I have so many digestive issues, I'm not sleeping. And I said, hey, you gotta get on my program. And I said, I'm gonna bring you a box so you can go. And then she's like, okay, how much is it, right? You sell it without even telling the price. They are just gonna hand you their credit card. Then in the bottom is another event that we did at a park, and that's Jeremy Piven that I'm giving a sample to from Entourage. He's a famous actor as well. He loves Purium. He's drank it so many times. Then I'm with at another yoga studio. This was a private event that a hospital made, a healthy event for their staff, and there was nothing healthy but my table. So. It was so funny because everybody was like overweight, super sick. Yeah.
All right, supplies. Remember, I was like, I was confused. I didn't know what we needed. It's taken us a long time to start, even like we just went with literally shaker bottles, like shaker bottle and table. And then it was like shaker bottle and like what size cups do we need? All right, so this is a full list of this setup. And this can be smaller or it can be more grandiose. But for us, this is just very efficient because it's not just about like more is better or nice is better. Remember, there's that Goldilocks zone because we have an agenda. The agenda is to get the people's information. Why? Because we can enter them into the lead capture form now, which who here has used the lead capture form with leads? It's the most amazing thing ever. It's actually changed this entire business of Table. Like that's the funnel as we're going into there. And so we don't need a huge like 10-foot long thing behind us because we don't want them looking here. We want them tasting this, writing their information down. And then all right, should we go over this? Yeah, all right. So first of all, ULT box. If you notice, this has a logo on it. So we put it upright, like that, all right? And, right, so there's a big difference between this, and so we're gonna just go over exactly how we do everything. There's a difference. It took us 5 years to figure this out. There's a difference between this. Like a huge difference. Guys, I've been to an event before. First of all, I showed up late. He put me in a room. I talked to 3 people. So he put me in a room in the back. I talked to 3 people. I had like 12 of these filled up to the top. The people that came up, first of all, it was a little warm by the time they came up. They drink a couple sips, and now they're just holding a full cup of Power Shake. Like just holding a full cup of Power Shake. And then they're talking to you, holding a full cup of Power Shake. And you can't dump out a full cup of Power Shake.
You want them to want more.
Right? So this is just a little bathroom, like shot glass. I think this is 3, you want 3 ounces or 4 ounces?
We actually used bathroom shot cups before.
Yeah. So 3 ounces, 4 ounces. These are actually biodegradable paper ones, which you don't need because it doesn't even say biodegradable on it. But this is a biodegradable cup as well. So also another thing, don't use plastic. It doesn't look good. It doesn't fit our mission. So small cup.
And another thing is that your sample is going to run out so fast if you use a big cup. And you're going to have to be refilling this thing like all event long. So this, you don't even need to fill it up. You do half a cup. It's just one shot, and they're like, that was delicious. Can I have more? Yeah, put your number here. I'll send you a gift card, you can get it.
And then the next setup is the beet juice. So Power Shake is always first. Always first. Beet juice is a little bit sweeter than Power Shake. You give them something sweeter, the Power Shake doesn't taste so good right after the Can't Beat This. Power Shake first. Even they're gonna come up and they're gonna say, I want red, because they think it's fruit punch. And you say, try this first.
Yeah, but now we started, we got these things in Amazon. It's like 30-something bucks. It's been a game changer because we used to use the blender bottles, the shaker bottles, and then bell jars. And it was just so hard to pour. And it wasn't very hygienic because then people would literally grab their cup and then touch it right after they put their lips on it. So you don't want to do that. This with, actually, let's lift it out. It has a little pour. And you can make, I don't know, 100 shots like this.
So
like
we used
fast.
to use pitchers. It's too much work. It gets all over you. These things, how much do they cost? $35-ish?
Yeah, it's just fine. Like
Sometimes I even just ship them. Like I'm going to Ontario next month. I'm just
buying them from Amazon, get it delivered to your event.
I'm just shipping it to my brand partners there and saying, hey, you guys can have these when I leave.
Yeah. The other thing that I love, it's a long spoon because then the fiber goes in the bottom. So every time I serve, if it hasn't been stirred in a little bit, I stir it and then I cover this. So it's also more hygienic. And then I got these little plastic plates. I worked at a restaurant business when I was in college, and they use this in the bartenders. So then when you put in your drip, it falls here, and then your tablecloth doesn't get all wet. Okay, that was a game changer. Again, this is like $4. And you don't have to do it. You can put a towel. You know, you can put, I started with paper towels. I would put a little bunch of paper towels, and then I was like, doesn't that look so professional? I want a cleaner look. And then this was what we discovered.
So we move on to the sign-in sheet?
Yeah.
We'll just go in order.
You put ice.
Oh yeah, so
you have a cooler, so if we put ice bags in coolers, so you want to get it. And if we have time, we'll take questions at the end, but we have a long presentation. We're running out of time.
So next thing is, I already mentioned this clipboard. This is very important to have name, phone number, email, because that's what we need in the lead capture. And it should say name, email, phone number. That makes it, it's a small detail, but I've had to enter in 200 names before. If you put email first before phone, then it's going to be a lot easier entered in the lead capture form.
And another thing, it must have lines. If it doesn't have lines, you're gonna fit like maybe 10 phone numbers, the emails in a sheet. It's gonna be sloppy and messy. And something really important is to get the $50 gift card, they have to fill 3 slots, phone, email, and number. Otherwise, they don't get the $50.
Put your phone number there, because I'm gonna text you a $50 gift card code.
Okay, because
hey, you didn't put your email there, I'm gonna email you a $50 gift card code.
Yeah, if somebody does not enter their phone number, guess what the next person's gonna do? They're not gonna enter their phone number.
Also, the trick I use is that if they scurry away without a phone number, I just 557.
Put a fake number.
I just put a fake number, and then I know every 557. I use 557 because everyone knows 555 is fake. But I just put a fake number there, and then when I'm texting people, I just skip that one.
Yeah, super, super important. Okay, because otherwise everybody follows the trend. If somebody doesn't put it, then you don't put it, and then you can't put them on your lead funnel.
And you guys see, that's handwritten.
Yeah, it's handwritten. I made it.
This is handwritten.
We didn't have a printer.
It doesn't, like, we're professional people. Not we run out of, we have a printer at home too, but sometimes we don't have a printer.
Yeah, and we also wanted to show you guys that sometimes people say, I haven't gone because I haven't had time to go to print center. You can do it by hand. You don't even need a ruler. Like you can't hand write the lines, okay? You also need multiple pens because someone's gonna steal a pen or it's magically gonna disappear. Another thing, the placement of the things are really important because here I like to have the pineal clear. Everybody wants this, okay? When they come to the table, oh, put your number here, I'll send you a $50 gift card. Everybody wants it, but I put it in this plastic because when you are serving your sample, it might spill. You don't want it to get dirty, okay? Same thing with the binder right next to it because the binder is also protected. So you want to put everything that's protected. You want your materials to last a long time. You don't want to ruin them. So all of this, where there's exposure to water, you want to have it here.
Oh, I forgot one of the most important parts. If you guys are going to be by your house, look at the difference. Right? Like,
it looks so much better.
that also took us like 3 years to figure out.
And when we were in, we were in Arizona, we couldn't find a plant. So we just emptied the power shake, raw wind, and like grab rocks and earth, and we put like bushes. We put bushes.
Oh yeah, it was like weeds from the side of the road.
Yeah, we put weeds on it.
Like literally, and there wasn't like soft dirt, so there was like rocks in the power shake bag.
Actually,
with
we have
weeds.
the photo. I forgot to put it in here. Yeah. Because these nails were dirty. I was like, you gotta go wash your hands before you serve a sample.
This is a really good touch. Like, it makes a difference.
Yeah. Okay, another thing, have paper towels or a kitchen towel. You want it, especially if you do, use the blender to make the concentrated formula, or raw just puts the ice, the ice halfway, put the powder, and then stir it.
I just like to do this. I don't want to do it.
I don't like it when he does that, but I use
That's
the blender.
why I always spill stuff on myself, apparently.
So then a little sign, as you guys can see, is handwritten in the Hotel Saturnia. This is when we started in Italy. I just grabbed the hotel little paperclip note, and then I put get $50 gift card.
And that goes right on the clipboard.
You don't even need it. Just grab any paper. Even a paper towel, I will grab and just like sneak it in there if I don't have anything. So get $50 gift card signing below. Okay, so you put it here so then they see.
This is the most important thing.
Yeah. Actually, I want to share the story. Because Ra is so shy that when people come to the table, he's like standing. And I'm like, oh no, you gotta ask, are you struggling with bloating, inflammation, chronic fatigue? And he doesn't say anything. So I said,
She wants me to say this whole list. Like, I can't.
So I'm like, no, you gotta say these things. So I went to the printer and I literally printed out, are you experiencing bloating, gas, lack of energy, hormonal imbalance, extra weight, poor sleep, acid reflux, inflammation, chronic fatigue, joint flex? This might be for you. So when people come to the table, Rod's like, are you experiencing any of this?
I don't say exactly like that, but it's similar. We help people with all these problems. That's what I say. We support people with their programs with all these problems. And then they just, eyes go there.
He literally does. He goes like this.
So this is how it goes. Write your name down and I'll send you a $50 gift card code. We have programs that help people with all these problems.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're just like,
that's it. Like, you don't overcomplicate it. That's it.
that's it, guys. I'm not trying to explain. Like they will eventually ask questions, but the priority for me, at least, is that.
Yeah, so another thing, I just put a core 4 here with the parasite herbs. So if somebody doesn't want to buy this, I say, okay, what about you take all of these? It's a small pack, it's half the size. It doesn't come with this. I put it away. And then if you get this, you get double, okay? So that's another trick.
And only have the core 4. If you have everything, it's, again, a little bit clustered there.
Yeah. Another thing, so when I started this business, I was on a budget, and I couldn't buy a box, or when the box started coming out. So what I do is I fill them up with stones, rice, paper towels. So you don't even need to have a full one for display. Your display could just be filled with things. So you always have it, always. Even in my office, in my back, it's not a full ULT, it's just filled with rice and paper towels. So there's no excuses. Even if you don't have a ULT, ask your upline, do you have some empty containers, empty packages that I can use? Even for social media. If you ran out, like I have empty packages of all the products, because if I ran out of Super Xanthan and then I want to do a reel or something talking about Super Xanthan or in a Zoom and I don't have the bag, I always have my empty bags full with paper towels. So that always have a display.
We were at an event, there was like 500 or 700 people at an event, and we were told we can't give out samples. So we showed up with my green tablecloth, our green tablecloth.
Actually, I have the photo.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So this this is all optional. Again, this is what we have mastered in the last 6 years, and it works for us like a charm every single time. You want to have an ice scooper or a cup, a large cup.
Important. We don't want to see anybody. Sorry, babe. We don't want to see anybody grab. You don't want anybody to see you grabbing ice with your hand and putting it into these things. If all you have are these small cups, what are you gonna do? Like, you got to get a cup of some sort.
Yeah. So that's important, and sometimes I just because the ice gets hard, I just drop it inside the cooler and it splits, and then I can just scoop it out. And I like to have an iPad as well, or my iPhone. I always carry 2 phones because usually one runs out of battery, and that helps me close people on the spot all the time.
And take pictures and video.
But when you work a lot of events and you have like 20 people on your table, you must want order forms. You tell them, here, you have extra clipboards, here, order forms, please line up here, fill it up. And then Ross still working the table, and then I'm just putting in the order. So I'm not giving them my box until the transaction goes through.
Also,
Okay.
we've hosted tables, a lot of them alone. So it's not a 2-person job. It's just, we do it as a couple.
And you always want to have a running buddy. So if I'm hosting an event somewhere, I just say, hey, or I ask people, I go on Instagram, like coffee shops in the area, I start networking with people. So when I go there, I already have somebody that I know, and I'm like, hey, I would love to meet you. There's a program, I see you're in health. And then I invite them over to the table. So, and then sometimes they sign up and then they work the table, and then everything goes underneath them, and then they hit fast start and they're happy.
So
Okay.
if we could go back one little, so guys, it's almost like the larger the event, the less percentage of people you're going to see. So if there's 1,000 people, 150 to 200 might come by your table. But if it's a smaller event, you might see everybody there. But if it's a larger event, like even up to 1,000 or 10,000 people, it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be like lines and lines of people, but you're going to need about 5 gallons of water if you are at a large event, and 2 to 3 bags of ice. And then you can do the math in your head for smaller events. It's gonna be...
Yeah, so you barely use any product, because remember, you're giving half a cup. Like, we worked on an event of 1,000 people, and we used only 2 bags of Power Shake and like a fraction of beet juice. So 2 bags of Power Shake can last you months to give samples to.
You guys hear these numbers, 700, 1,000, 10,000. These are other people's marketplaces. These are other people's networks. So even if you personally don't have it, like, we network with them and we get access to their people who all need Purium.
Yeah, like for instance, last week, I wanted to meet more women, professional women, where we live in Ventura. So I went on Google and I put woman event in Ventura. And I found the Woman Ventura Conference Center, like a conference, like a huge businesswoman conference, conference that they're doing in Ventura. And then I was like, oh my God, it happened last year. So then I'm like, who's in charge of running this event? So I went and I found her, and then I went and I found her on Instagram, and I follow her, and I say, hey girl, I just found you. I really wanted to be part of your woman conference, but I see that it was last year. Are you guys doing it again this year? I'd love to connect. I'm new to Ventura. I don't have many friends here. And then she followed me back. She invited me to the 2024 conference that is actually happening next month. I already have a whole spot for a table, speakers, and it's a huge thing in Ventura. So now I'm hooked up to the main lady just because I went to Google.
You guys see that, the efficiency? So she gets to now spend an afternoon talking, doing an income-producing activity all day long. And she literally was like, where do I find the women in Ventura?
And the main lady owns a healing center. So again, we're watering the seed.
And she's going to
watering the seed little
try to
by
get a
little.
speaking role too, right?
And then she's going to try the products, then she's going to hear the presentation, and then she's going to move into the funnel. Just don't be desperate. That is the thing when working tables, don't be desperate. Again, if they're not getting on the program, it's their loss. Okay?
A main thing at these tables is we're looking for brand partners, right? So it's not just about health products, because who are the types of people that go to health-oriented events? And how can we find out if they're a practitioner? So what I say is, are you a practitioner? What brings you here? Like, I just ask them. Are you, like, if you're at a yoga event, are you a yoga teacher as well? What brings you here? And then they're going to tell you. They're going to say, I do this, I do that, and they're going to, they are also trying to build rapport with you, so they're going to cater their answer towards what they think that we would like to hear as well.
Yeah. And another thing, when we're explaining the products, I don't just say this removes glyphosate. Like, no one knows what glyphosate is. This helps with removing heavy metals that create brain fog and inflammation and bloating. And they're like, oh, I need that. Okay, so you meet them where they are. You don't just say, oh, this, opens the shikamic pathway and it puts your body in autophagy, like all these things that we used to say before, and people are like, ah. Okay, this builds muscle, is the best protein on planet Earth. I take it. This is how I build my collagen and everything. And this helps with sleep, is you're gonna have the best night of your life. Okay? And this is all the nutrition that you can have. I like to say it's nutrition insurance. This is my nutrition insurance, okay?
Transformation book?
And then the parasites, yeah.
So what I like to do is when somebody says, what is this? Again, there's people behind them. I'm not going to explain the Power Shake. I'm going to flip right here and be, here's the ingredients right here. Hey, come get some free wheatgrass. And I'm pulling in more people. The goal is to pull in more people. When we do events, everybody always notices how much people are at our table.
Our table is the only full table.
Like packed the whole time. We're pulling people in. We're giving gifts. Like, it's just.
I'm like, hey, come, try some. You're going to love this. Would you like an energy drink? Come on. And I just grab it, and I'm like, here you go. You're going to love it.
So you have one person filling out their info, probably like 2 or 3 people looking through this book. Another person's asking, what is this? And you're like, excuse me, folks. This one's actually the beet juice. It's in our performance pack. It's back here. And you're flipping through it, and they're seeing all these. It can't be this. Right here. Boom, boom. See? Done it so many times.
And then once they go through the binder, they're like, oh, this stuff is good. Oh, this is also really good. Oh, do you have this one here? And I'm like, no, I don't have the Cocoa Hydrate here, but if you put your number, I'll send you the link and a $50 gift card. Okay, so the binder is amazing. I also asked some people, if there's not that many people on the table, I said, do you know what glyphosate is? And they say no, and I'm like, let me show you. And I come in here, and I open this page, carcinogenic. Well, glyphosate is the poison in our bread. And then they're like, what? Remember, it's about education. It's not about selling the product. It's about educating them. So the more education that you give them in the table, they're going to be wanting more. And the other thing, and last thing, because we're running out of time, is the guide. I say, this is a 90-day program. And I literally open this, and I say, you track 90 days. You track your mood, how you feel, your energy. And I open this like this. So there's no doubts it's a 90-day program.
I think move on. Follow up. Oh, I had an awesome story, but I'm not going to tell it. But I waited 2 months once to follow up. But that's essentially the story. Nobody replied, obviously. So if you guys wait 3 days or 5 days, it's too long. If you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. Do it like that night if you have the energy and the time to do it. And I've also found out if you have a list of people that you're texting, so what my process is text and then enter their email into the lead capture, and then they get an email from Purium. And so you can voice text the number, like hit the button 720 blah, 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 and then your phone will fill out the thing, and that is a little bit faster if you have hundreds of numbers to text. And then also when you're interacting with people, let them know how nice and open everybody was at the event.
That is super important.
We were noticing how nice and open everybody was at the event. Here's some information that I promise you about da 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 da. So just feed them how you would like them to act, nice and open.
I mean, Leslie has said on the Zoom calls, if you're like my other customers, if you are like everyone else at the event, okay, just use that. It's really important. And the other thing, if you do a lot of events, you're gonna have a lot of sign-in sheets. So date them and put the name of the event. Purium Convention 2024.
And take pictures.
Okay.
I know in the iPhone,
Oh yeah, take photos of
you
the
can
list.
now just search text in your pictures. So if you're like, what was that person's name? I know I was like, you can literally just search their name and the iPhone will pick up their names now in your photos.
Or if you take the pictures and you're going to iPhone and put sign-in sheet or sign in, it's going to pull up all the sign-in sheets. So then you have a digital, because we've lost binders of contacts. Like we've moved and I lost my binder and I cried. And I was like, okay, we got to take photos of every single sign-in sheet.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Home presentations, they're very similar. These are all events done at living rooms, in my house, at the Macy's. Bottom right, nobody showed up. Only 2 people we had at the event. Sometimes we have the whole floor is full. Everyone sits on the floor. Amy Benner, is she one of those? She came to our event as well. They're very, very similar. Another thing, the events have to be 100% exclusive to Purium. You're not selling a water machine with Purium. You're not selling a dress with Purium.
You're not having a breathwork session and then Purium. It's about being honest.
You're not doing a yoga class and then sneaking the Purium.
Nobody likes that. We're having a superfood social. We're going to be trying out superfoods. We're going to be drinking superfoods. Like, have people over for superfoods.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen my leaders so many times. I'm going to do this and then that, and I'm going to sneak it in. And then your clients, your friends, they feel fooled. Oh, you pull me to do this when in fact you wanted to do that. Okay, so be super transparent. Gather data from the crowd. That's also important. Like, what brought you here? Like, what are you experiencing? And then you know, like, oh, at this event, everybody's struggling with digestion for some reason. So then that's something that you can do. And you can also ask questions. What will you like to do with your health? Are you experiencing bloating, fatigue? And then you can always elaborate, or you can ask, what do you do for work? Oh, I'm an attorney. Oh, you must love what you do. No, I'm actually under a lot of stress. Oh, this actually, it's great for stress. Because this removes the toxins and then your nervous system can start to do what it's supposed to do and you can relax. Right? So you want to ask those questions and then leverage what they're saying in the conversation. We are up with our time. Wait, can we have one more minute? So at home presentations, you also have more time to present the program, because when you're working tables, you only have 30 seconds to 3 minutes if they're interested. So the conversation's a little bit different. At home events, you can spend more time and you get to focus more on story sharing. In this table, you can't do much stories because you don't have much time. Date and time will matter if you're doing home presentations. You got to pick a time that works effectively for everyone. For us, it's been Saturday mornings. It's the perfect time to do the home events for us. We've done that for years. And the most important thing about doing events is that it keeps the container open. Even if nobody shows up. In my events when I started, I would do them at Lucy Mace's apartment upstairs because I didn't have a place to bring people in. And I remember I bought the ice, I was struggling with the cups, I'm like rushing in traffic, and I get there and nobody showed up. And I started to get discouraged and I cried, and then I said, Lucy's like, come downstairs and I'll make you a smoothie and we'll work on the flyer for the next event. And that's what we did. So keep the container open. If you don't host events because no one's showing up, then no one's ever gonna show up because there's no event to walk into.
And your brand partners will come and they'll bring people as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, guys. I guess we don't have to say anything.
There we go. Ra and Carolina, everybody.